the on-row stone yard, just outside Pietrasanta on this end of the Apuan Alps, the range of mountains where Carrara marble is quarried. It's a quarry known particularly for its statuary and arabescato, which is statuary marble veined with dark lights. And you can get things varying from materials which are quite clean to a much more veined and decorative kind of marble. I chose this place particularly because one of the important things about this job was to have a marble that was very compact, and you can see this marble here, it doesn't break very easily, and the fragments you get are very sharp, which means that you can get a lot of detail in what you're carving. When you're selecting marble, it's very important first of all to break a piece off to see how it really feels, how it breaks. It's also a good idea to wet the stone, because a marble that can seem quite free of veining can seem much more veined or much darker when you put water on, which gives the impression much more like when it's polished. And also, if there are hairline cracks, these are likely to come out as the water dries off, leaving a little bit more water in the crack. It's always good to be very cautious when selecting marble. What can appear to be a very good block when looking at one face isn't necessarily so. You just have to look at every side to see where any fractures might be. It really isn't like selecting a piece of limestone or a material such as wood where you can just order a certain amount. You have to see every single block. Going directly into the quarries is sometimes a good idea, but live in daunting experience. It's like going into another world really, where you're surrounded by strange noises, there's all sorts of bangs and crashes, you don't know where they're coming from. Where if you go into the quarry you will be likely to find bargains which you won't get going down into the yard though. And you can go there, and occasionally you can actually select something in the wall of the cliff before it's been reached, if you've got the time to wait for it to come, and if you know the people who are running the quarry. For me it's often a good place to go because there are lots of informal pieces like boulders which are no use to the quarrymen, so they never get brought down at any other time. So I like to go up there to select that kind of material quite a lot. For a material for something like a fireplace or something that's got to be cut, it's often just as useful to come down to the yard really, where you're sure that you can see the block from all sides rather than just looking into the side of a mountain and hoping for the best round the back. So what I'm doing here is trying to explore quite a complex internal space. A lot of my forms are inspired by medieval architecture. I got a lot of experience working on restoration of various buildings in England. Using such internal forms we get a very interesting sense of light coming in, particularly when you have, for example, these holes at the top. So throughout the day the light will actually change. Sometimes it'll bounce off walls and create moments where it's very bright and then very mysterious and dark as well.